Hey everyone, Martini here. Just to let you know, this episode ran really long, so we couldn't fit everything that we wanted to fit in the episode just because it was just running too long, and we also had a guest, and it was just things were going way too long, so we just wanted to cut it short. But if you stick with us at the end of the podcast, it'll be narrated by me, and I'm gonna be talking about some of the interesting points that I found in some of the articles pertaining to this subject matter. Also, just a little mistake that I made. This is not the intervention episode. I looked at the calendar wrong, so on with the show.
Fear will make you do this stupid shit, but if you look at what you want, what do you want in life? I personally want to be happy. I want to have a young relationship. I have a vision board that's in our kitchen, and on that I put always young, in love, and dating. And that was key to me is how many times in our relationships, and this is something you guys can actually talk about, how many times in our relationships have we been young and dating and everything's new and fresh, and that's our time together and everything's, but then you move in together, or for some listeners, you get married, and now it's not so young and fresh anymore.
Bed. Love.
Bed.
Love. Beyond. Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Bed Love Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us to discuss sex, love, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love.
Like us.
I'm Martini.
I am Jennifer.
And today's episode is episode 117. Are you keeping your relationship fresh? If you have a topic you want us to explore or have any question you want to ask, you can write to us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com or text us at 201-862-8BED. That is 201-862-8233. So,
F-R-E-S-H.
so before, thanks for the throwback. That's fresh. So before we get into all the rigmarole and all that stuff, we have a returning guest from episode 79 all the way back from August 2017, and he wanted to get his ass back on the show promptly. This is the rock god of podcasting, Charles Mcfall. What's going on, man?
Oh, no cheers? Okay.
Yeah.
No, missed it. I told you when I started listening to your show, because we met through some online dating app. That's how we connected originally, I think, Martini. And no, it was a post you put out for guests, and like, hey, I like the idea of what you're talking about, and I threw out an idea to you, and we connected. And I started listening to your show. Then it's like, man, I have a comment on every single episode that you have, which is a good sign of what you're doing. Is you make people want to add to it, and I'm glad to be back. I'm glad you didn't make me wait an hour, or not an hour, a year, like you've made some of your other guests wait.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it was getting close. We're almost at August, but it was getting close. But thank you so much for coming back. I just recently listened to the episode again just to refresh my memory, and I wrote down some notes, and I was just re-laughing at all the stuff we originally laughed at. It was just a great episode.
I think that's amazing. Not a lot of people put in that kind of work of listening to the previous episode, because there was one recently. You were like, yeah, like I said back in another episode, just like, don't do a flashback. We know.
Oh yeah,
don't do a flashback.
Yeah. I was like, damn. All right, Jen.
Yeah, but it's amazing. You will actually listen back to the show and then put it back in, so your listeners, new or old, don't have to go back and find it. It's really fun.
Yeah, but also so they can go back to that episode if they want. Just like, oh, right. They really did say that. So, yeah, it is hard work, but it's worth it. It makes the episode better. I feel anyway. So,
yeah.
Martini's very creative.
Well, thank you. So, what's big?
Wait, this is new to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
So everyone else is like, yay, Charles is back. And I'm like, who's Charles?
Yeah, I know, because, you were a prima donna and couldn't be on when I was on before. It's okay, though.
I don't know what I was doing that day, but I'm pretty sure it was important.
Important to not be on the number one podcast?
I have 2 jobs.
Okay.
That pay my bills. That I have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. know. Maybe.
All right, so I guess,
I
yeah.
had a date. I don't know.
All right, so Charles, yes, please. Wait, no. August 26th. Oh, date with your man.
Yeah, I don't
All
know.
right.
I really don't know what the fuck I was doing, to be honest with you.
She was probably moving his stuff in and buying him a PlayStation 4 or something.
No. Trust me.
All right, so
He moved his own stuff in, and the PlayStation 4 came with the house.
all right, so Charles, Jenn, Charles.
Hi.
I do feel like I know you, even though
I
obviously
know.
we
You
haven't
seem to
talked.
know a lot about me.
It has nothing to do with the stalking. I promise.
Okay.
Take out the train order. Sorry.
You know, you can like send some likes on our Facebook page. Or
Now that takes
Instagram.
effort. I don't want to do that.
You're one of those. Okay. All right, Charles.
Too busy playing my video games to pay attention to you, Jen.
Next.
Oh man. So are you all caught up with the episodes, or?
I am probably about 3 or 4 behind right now.
Okay.
I got really busy right before going on. Or I just got back from family vacation, as we were talking about before the show, and you know, prepping for that. When you run a podcast network, and you basically run an office, and you have side gigs, it's getting everything in order to take off for a week is a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I ended up just getting crazy busy for the last couple of weeks, and the last one I heard either was your friend came back, Bridget, or there was a doctor right around there at that time too. I can't remember if that was before or after Bridget. About 4 episodes behind.
Christy.
Christy Overstreet.
I always call her freaking Katie. Yeah, Christy Overstreet. Yeah,
She's
probably.
awesome. I love her.
Yeah, Yeah, it was probably Christy or Bridget. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, not
behind.
Yeah, not too far back. That's cool. All right. So yes. So
So what are we talking about today, fellas?
Well, first, the last episode that he was on was Being a Late Bloomer, The Growing Pains and Wonder Years. So that was an awesome episode. So any new followers, newcomers, please go listen to that episode 79. It was super fun and really funny. So
I think I did listen to it.
I would hope so.
I don't think you did.
You know what? I'm having a really difficult time right now because I've been cheating on our podcast and I've been listening to Bunny Ears podcast. So I'm sorry, but I am trying to squeeze us in.
You know, I get that totally. It's well, you know, it plays into a relationship. Why do people pay attention to other people more? I've been accused of that in my relationships. Like, oh, you'll jump at a call when this person calls, and work once you do this, you'll jump and do that. But when I want you to do something, it's later. You know, it's and that what you're doing is you did that, right? You're on the podcast,
right?
So listening back to it, it's cool. But then listening to something else is just fresh and new. Or sometimes it's like a demand, like you said, you had 2 jobs that pay your bills. Sometimes like, no, I need to keep that happy, but you also got to keep the home happy. And it's a tough balance. And martini doesn't matter, so don't listen. It's okay.
No, I love martini. Actually, no, I've been like trying to like exercise more and do stuff like that. So like yesterday, I went for a walk and put my podcast on. And you know, sometimes when I'm doing my work at home, I don't put the TV on because I have severe ADHD, and I'd be like, oh my god, look.
Yeah.
So I'll put a podcast on so I can like listen and, you know, I can listen and type at the same time. That I'm good at. But you know, I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress.
Aren't we all?
Yes, every day.
So
Is my mic plague? What's wrong?
I don't know. I'm sorry. Like she's seeing me like do all these faces. Is because I don't hear her. I hear you in the room.
Really?
But I don't hear. Oh, there you go. There. Oh, you just need to hold it better. There you go. All right. So
I'll talk at the top back part of the mic.
Any daily dish?
I went to see Journey and Def Leppard last night. It was awesome.
Wow.
And like I've always liked Def Leppard as a kid. I mean, who didn't like Pour Some Sugar on Me?
Right.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
whatever. And the guy who took over for Steve Perry and Journey, it's like he's fucking amazing. First of all, he's like 50 years old. He's running all around the stage. He sounds just like Steve Perry.
Oh wow.
I mean, although like some of like the bronies there were like, we want Steve Perry. I'm like, yo, Steve fucking
Wait,
left the band.
did you say the bronies? that's a completely different section of people.
They look like they could be bronies. They're like drunk white boys. I was just like,
I do love that is your insult now, because I've been using it as an insult for a while as well.
They were like, we want Steve Perry. I'm like, yo, Steve chose to leave, dude.
And did he really?
And this guy's fucking awesome.
I never knew he left.
Yeah, he left.
Is there like beef?
No, there wasn't beef. I think he got hurt and like he just didn't. This is what my boyfriend looked up because he's like Googling during the concert. I'm like, he's like, so Steve got into a hiking accident and didn't want to have the hip surgery, so he didn't come back. I was like, okay, thanks, babe.
Well, I guess he did actually stop believing then.
Yeah. Oh my god, when they played Don't Stop Believing, the fucking Jersey crowd went balls deep crazy. Oh my god. I was like, watch these white girls lose their shit.
Didn't I tell you?
Yo, they were like, oh my god! I was like,
yeah, you need to, because I DJ on the side, so you need to Google something along the lines of music that makes white people lose their shit. And it's hilarious. That music list is hilarious. It's true.
It is true. I've seen that list. It's so true.
Yeah, I gotta look at that because I mean, and I feel like I'm pretty eclectic. So I feel like some of my friends are like probably on Facebook last night, like, really? Jen's at a Def Leppard concert? Like, all right. But then it was funny. I had some friends who were like, yo, did they play this or did they play that? They're like, yo, that was the jam. Photograph was the jam. I'm like, yeah, all right. You guys know. You know.
Did you do your hair up right?
No. I wore my Def Leppard t-shirt that I got from JCPenney's. But, like, I wasn't...
With holes? Did you have holes in it?
No, but it is raggedy looking.
Yeah, he sounds so defeated.
No, I try to like come out somewhat presentable. But yo, the drunk bitches online behind me were like so annoying. Oh my god, these old women that were like in their like maybe sorry people who are older than I am. I mean, I'm gonna be 40 next year, but they were just like, oh my god, why is the bathroom line so long? I was like, holy fuck. We all have the fucking same size bladder. Calm your ass down. Well, I probably don't. I'm a midget. I'm like, oh my god. And then she kept like moving, like pushing into me to like see where the line was going. I was like, dude, we don't have time for this shit. I wanted to just slap the shit out of her. I was like, this is why I don't come out in public. I hate people.
Oh my god.
But some people were really nice. But the concert was great. Go ahead. Sorry, Charles.
I was going to say a better revenge is the next time she bumped you, you should have peed on her. You knocked it loose.
Oh, God.
As I have pee running down my leg for the rest of the concert.
Oh, gross.
Oh, my goodness. Whatchamacallit. But yeah, the concert was great. And, like, I always get so excited to see, like, my boyfriend, like, really into, like...
What he's into.
Like I told, like my friend that ended up coming with us because her husband was like going to like a Dead and Company concert, and she was like, "Oh my god, I'd really love to see them." I was like, "You should have bought a ticket." And then like we figured out that it was the night that he wasn't going to be around. That's usually only when I see her. And so we ended up getting her like a ticket in our row, and it kind of worked out. So we were all kind of together, and I don't know, it's just like really awesome to see him like in his element and like really like being passionate about something. I was like, oh, I love him. He's cute. And then
I just picture you're dating Joe Dirt. That's kind of what I picture in my mind.
No, my boyfriend's Dominican and Haitian. So, yeah. He's a black dude, you know? He's just sitting there rocking out. But he's also like 41 years old and like grew up like in a time... Well, he grew up with like a mixed community, so like he grew up listening to everything. You know, sometimes like when he starts like rapping to Wu-Tang, I'm like... Okay. Hey, babe. I'm like, here's like sometimes I'll pull up in the driveway and I hear like the 36 Chambers like busting out his car and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Who's in my driveway?
You know, and then he comes in and he's like rapping to Wu-Tang. I'm like, you're adorable and fucking weird, but I love you. But that's okay because I'm like equally as weird because like I went to the Def Leppard concert, but then at the end of the month in August I'm going with April to Lauryn Hill concert. So,
oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was that. Also in Daily Dish, we booked a trip to the Caribbean to Haiti, Jamaica, and Cozumel. He's never been on a boat. And we were like trying to decide like where to go for the summer. And when we couldn't figure it out, he was just like, whatever you want, babe, whatever you want. I'm like, God damn it, make a decision. And then like I was trying to like be like, oh, let's go to a cruise. I didn't want to go on a cruise in the summer because of the hurricanes. Like I don't want to die for fun. That's fucking dumb. So
Wait, you'd rather die from misery and boredom than fun?
I don't know, but we booked a trip, and it's like the month after I turned 40. So we went big, got a balcony. And that's it. We'll make it happen.
Nice.
We get to make monthly payments. Sell our soul to Liberty Travel until then. But
all about the experience, though.
Yeah, I've done a cruise before. It's a fucking great time, so I'm excited. It's another experience for us to share together, which has also like made me. Oh, side note, this is important for the podcast. So there's been things that like I've been like on my boyfriend's ass about because he's like, I don't like this and I don't like this about myself and blah 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 blah. So I make him sound like a little bitch. But I'm like, yo, if you don't do anything about it, like I can't do anything about it, and like I feel like these were the barriers that were like in his way of us progressing. So he's actually now like doing things about it. Like he got a personal trainer and he's like selling all his like hoarding stuff. He sold his fucking ColecoVision, thank God. And I don't know, like now like the whole conversation or the harassment of like me being like, when are we getting married? When are we getting married? Like I'm done with it. I'm not gonna do it.
Lies.
No. I see him like making moves towards something better, and that's all I wanted to see. Like when I see you just sitting around like I don't like this and I don't like this, but you're not doing anything about it, then that's when I'm just like, yo, if we're not making moves, then like my neighbor broke up with her boyfriend. The hot guy across the street is gone. Everybody.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Crazy story too.
Whoa.
I was like sitting outside with her till like 11 o'clock at night, and she was like sobbing.
Oh my god.
I felt really bad. But anyway, he's a dirtbag. Even though I was like stalking him and I thought he was really hot for like the whole time I lived here. But not that I was coveting another person's man. God forgive me. I have to go to church now. Anyway, so I kept like kind of playing around with him. I was like, yeah, keep it up. I was like, you could be moving out like he was with his U-Haul.
Wow.
Savage. He's like, you're so mean. I was like, you didn't know that? Like, come on. This is not new news. Anywho, so yeah, we're going on a trip. I'm going to lay off his ass about the marriage thing. Not that I don't care. Although, like, in my little, like, fantasy head, I'm like, oh, a proposal on a ship would be nice.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about that because y'all were talking on the show about it. And are you happy with the relationship? I mean, are you happy with
Yeah, thank you. You're like my therapist. That's what she tells me. She's like, the relationship is awesome. Like, I mean, there's some things that, like, he's kind of going through some shit. So, like, that's what I kind of wanted him to work on.
Right.
But he is working on it now. So now it's not like I can, like, bitch at him for it. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing everything that I suggested or asked of him. And it's only going to really better him. It's not really... It will better us in the long run, but it's going to better him now. So, like, he's working on it. So, like, now I feel like at a better place, like, peaceful about the relationship. Like, before, like, just knowing what I know about relationships, I was kind of like, if you don't tackle these things in your life, like, they're not going to get better. And it wasn't anything crazy like, alcoholism or drug use. That, like, those things I'd be out the door. But, like, just like, everyone comes with their own, like, emotional baggage. So if you don't fix that and you don't tackle that from the door, like, we're not going to be able to grow properly. So he's doing that now. So now, like, all my reservations about, like, the only things I had reservations about are kind of wiped away.
Cool.
For this week.
Well, that's what I was thinking is that, because I was a marriage guy, I was very much, this is what you do, you get married when you find the right one, so on and so forth. Well, I learned is, especially having a lot of gay friends for a very long time who could not get married, and, I'm watching Christians, because I grew up as a preacher's kid and this and that, so I'm watching Christians get married, get divorced, get married, get divorced, and they're just miserable, right? And, you can't be happy if you don't have God. It's like, you don't look happy. I'm just saying. And, gay is a sin, like, but that couple's been happy for 20 years together, and they can't even get married.
Right.
So I had to rectify that all for myself, and what I've learned is what you're saying right now. It's that partnership. Marriage literally is just a legal thing. It's just to let you automatically have tax rights and this and that and the other for the government. But other than that, nobody tells you if you're happy, if you're a partnership. And what you're talking about doing, and hopefully it does it for you as well, is you're being honest with each other, because you won't find stuff. You don't even know you need to work on things.
Oh, I'm really good at honesty.
Yeah. Just listen to any episode.
But I found new areas I needed to work on and grow in when I got married.
Right.
Just because of the partnership, and didn't know I needed to work on it until then. And I think everybody goes through that together. I think maybe what we get in our mindset is that dating, we can just walk away instead of toughing it out and going, no, you're worth fighting with and you're worth fighting for, so I'm going to stay here. We just kind of walk away. Whereas in marriage, maybe we stay too long not realizing you're not worth fighting for and you're not going to change and I can't do this anymore.
That's pretty deep, yeah. I definitely agree with that. I mean, and that's kind of like, his whole opinion about marriage is like, he doesn't want to do it more than once. And not that I don't necessarily believe in divorce. Like, as a therapist, I think that there's some families that, need to be divorced. Because, like you said, like, especially if there's kids involved, like, kids don't need to see, like, all of that shit that's going on. You know what I mean? It's just toxic. But, like, I feel like at this point in our lives, like, we're, like, not getting married because we're young and dumb. We're not getting married because, like, we're like, oh, my God, the sex is off the chain. Like, we just need to be married for that. Like, trust me, I kept relationships going for way too long for those reasons. We're not getting married because we have kids or got pregnant or anything like that. Like, I really think that we'd be getting married for the right reasons. And, like, this is, like, one of my first relationships that's, like, not that's lasted this long, but that at this stage in the relationship, like, I still feel all those warm, funny, googly feelings 2 years in. Like, and that makes me feel, like, really good. And I don't know if he gets that because, he's had long-term relationships, like, 8 years. So, for him, like, this is still just the beginning. But I still feel, like, and I'm sure he does too, because of the way we are with each other. But, like, I still feel that, like, when I see him, I'm like, yeah, I'm, like, really excited to see him. Or, like, I get really excited when he's happy about something. And, so that's awesome. I like that part of it. And that's
we still do that. My wife and I still do that after 17 years.
That's awesome. There's hope.
We were at Dave & Buster's, which is a big arcade thing, and we had separated
in New Jersey, not Arkansas. Jesus Christ.
It's got indoor plumbing and bathrooms. It's awesome. I don't know if they're nationwide or whatever. I guess they are.
Okay. Sorry. Dave & Buster's, for those of you who are in other countries like Iran and whoever who may not have Dave & Buster's, thank you.
So we had
I feel like I'm the only one talking to Charles right now.
Martini and I had like 2 hours, so we got some catching up to do, Jim.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm over here.
Work that board, Martini. But yeah, we're at my wife and I are Dave & Buster's with the kids, and we're separated. And I just had this random stupid thought moment in my head, as I do, that would entertain myself. And I did the whole look over at her and reach out like, I'm missing you. At the same time, she was doing the same thing.
Aww.
We cracked each other up. It was like, that was a real TV Disney Channel bullshit moment. And we just laughed and laughed and laughed. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
That is great.
But from what you talked about on the show with your boyfriend, the one thing you said about how his parents were divorced, and he's not going to marry you until he gets over that bullshit. He's not his parent.
Right, which is kind of like what he's working on now, hopefully. I don't know what happens behind.
I mean, you don't necessarily need to get married, but that's always going to be a hang up, because you got to realize, and that's the hardest thing, dude. Especially when you start adding kids to the mix, it's the hardest thing to realize you are not your parents. You've learned a lot from them, but you're not them.
Right, yeah. I mean, I think that's something he's like working on now, I'm hoping. And we have the conversation a lot, and like we go see my parents a lot, I'm like, my mom would be like, when are you getting married? And like, he told her straight up, he's like, everyone in my family is divorced. And my mom's like, my husband was divorced twice before he married me. She's like, 2 of Jennifer's brothers are divorced. She's like, it happens, but, it doesn't mean like that's who you are. And I think he has to see that. Like, I know he wants to get married because sometimes I'll do my like little reverse psychology thing, and I'll be like, "Yo, fuck marriage." I was like, "Let's just like travel and shit and just see what happens." And he's like, "No, babe, don't say that." I'm like, "All right, calm down." I was like, "Ah, it was a test."
Now, martini.
Let me sit back and adjust my pillow.
I don't know why I pictured Charles swiveling in a chair.
Doing that thing with his hand.
Yeah. So martini.
I called you here for a reason.
What's up, sir?
You're fired.
No. I can't remember exactly what you said. I wish I'd made notes. I listened in the car, so it's hard to make notes.
Right.
But you were talking about dating and this and that and the other. And I felt like the piece of advice I wanted to give you is you need to fall in love with yourself, man.
Mm-hmm.
Once you figure out what you want in yourself and what you want in your world, you don't even have to go. We were joking about going to the city earlier, but you don't even have to go to the city. You'll find it next door.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I think I told the story maybe when I met my wife on the Late Bloomer show.
Yeah.
But I always knew from growing up, seeing an inequality in my house. My mom basically ran the whole house. My dad went and made money. It just didn't click right. And I always wanted a partnership. I grew up watching too many movies and TVs. I wanted somebody to go out and conquer the world with, right?
Yes.
And I always knew that, so that's what I found. I found a partner, and there was still a lot of growing and learning to do. Man, I wish I remember specifically what you said, because you said something that triggered me on the show that I went, man, just you once you understand what you are and who you are, you'll find the right man for you, man. I promise.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'll try. No, but I completely understand what you're saying, and you almost said what you said in the episode earlier, almost verbatim. But yeah, I'm just, I definitely.
Well, listen this time and get you somebody you love.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. Yeah, and just like you, I definitely do want a partner. I want a girl that that I can conquer the world with. Definitely. That's what I want. I definitely want a partner. I don't want a trophy wife or whatever, or somebody that looks pretty just to be there, and I want somebody, so we can just, freaking rule the world, man.
You're gonna need somebody who's comfortable in their skin, because if I understand right, you and Jenn dated before a long time ago, yeah?
Yeah.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now you're doing this podcast thing, which is a family thing. I mean, it's intimate, not as intimate as dating, of course, but it is an intimate thing. So you need somebody who is not scared of who they are. They need to know who they are to go, oh, hey, no, she's no threat. She's cool.
Yeah.
Podcast, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear you. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I know you haven't caught up with the with all the episodes, but I do want to ask you something, because it was pertaining to last week's episode that we had. And last week's episode was the man-child / kid at heart. Is it admiring or adult wanted? And listening back to the episode that we had before, episode 79, you said that you got married at 23, but you felt that you weren't ready for it until 33, because you said yourself that you were a man-child when you got married. So can you please explain how you matured, and how did your wife feel about you being a man-child?
Well, part of that is fun, right? It's that spontaneous, hey, let's go. For us, for you guys, it's going to be Atlantic City. For us, Biloxi, Mississippi is the closest gambling just to run off to. And it's the man-child, excuse me, will be when you have no kids. It was, hey, let's run off for the. Sorry, I'm dying here. I don't know what's going on. The man-child was, hey, let's run off for the weekend and just go gamble and have fun. All right, do we have the money? Who cares? Let's just go anyway. And it's spontaneous, it's fun, it's energetic. But then you get back and you're behind on a bill now, and this and that. So it had its ups and downs. And my wife probably wasn't ready for marriage either. I mean, if we're honest, we were both. I mean, we were equal. I mean, that was the thing. We were equal. So she was strong in some parts. I was strong in some parts. We were weak in other parts. I remember the thing that made me change the most was my wife said I could never be serious. And I don't know. I love making people laugh. I guess that was my thing for the longest time. My coping mechanism was I can make people laugh. That makes me feel good. And so I want to feel good because I'm carrying all this anger and depression and horribleness inside of me from all the stuff that happened when I was a kid. And if I can make people feel good, it makes me feel good. But we'd be getting ready to get down to business, and I'd do something silly to make her laugh, and she just, you never be serious. Or, it just was always something like that. And that actually goes into what we're talking about, making things fresh after a long time. And like I said, we've been married 17 years. Been married 17 years and together for 18. And we still have that, what Jenn was talking about. We still have that young love feeling. Every once in a while we still get asked for newlyweds, if we don't have the kids around, which is rare. But if we don't have the kids around, are you newlyweds, those kind of things. And I love that. But not being ready for it, being that man child, there were a lot of bad decisions that were made. And every time in finding the right person, or doing like Jenn said, for you're talking about Martini, finding that right person, finding where you are in life, and Jenn was saying, moving forward in a relationship, you can't settle. Settling is horrible. You can accept it, right? And my wife accepted I was going to make stupid decisions and do stupid things. I finally accepted she was going to do the same for her family. Mine was toys. Hers was family. I mean, she would hurt herself to do stupid, I was going to say do stupid shit to help her family when they didn't deserve it. But we accepted it, but we didn't settle for it. We always kind of commented. We always tried to move forward, deal with what was causing us to do it. I remember I was trying to be in a band, and I needed a bass player, and her brother used to play bass or whatever. So I went on eBay and bought a bass guitar for $100 without asking her, without talking to her or anything. And all of a sudden she sees this charge, and she's like, why would you spend $100? And that was a point in our life when $20 was like $2,000.
Right.
We were tight. And why would you spend $100 without talking to me? I remember the feeling. And the point I was getting to was being self-aware of, you can blame. You were talking about nasty divorces earlier in reference, and how the kids don't need to see that. They're nasty divorces because you're not honest with each other or with yourself. That's number one. You're not honest with yourself. And I wasn't honest with myself. I never looked at why I wanted to be funny, why I always wanted to be a kid, why I always chased after the stupid things. Martini, did I reference Let's Make a Deal in our other show?
That doesn't sound familiar, no.
Okay. So whenever
You
we
didn't do a good job reviewing. You didn't do your homework.
I did. I got notes.
I can't remember if I did, so I probably didn't.
No, I don't think you did.
Is when things would get tight with money, instead of being smart and grown up and adult and going, what do we need to cut? How do we need to refine? Should we get an extra job? We would end up just going to Walmart at midnight and saying, let's make a deal. We got a credit card. You get $100 to spend. I get $100 to spend. And we'd go and buy junk, a little TV and a VCR here, and she'd buy something there, and we'd go home and feel better for a week, and then feel like it was stupid. And those are really bad ways to do it. But being self-aware, and you asked what made us change a little bit, was, for me, it was that just always disappointing her, just hitting that wall, and you hit it more and more as that became the prevalent issue of you can never be serious. So I'd fight the reactions to say something funny. I'd fight the urge to do something silly or stupid. And I didn't change who I was, right? I'm still the guy who likes to have fun. And, we still spontaneously, now instead of going to Biloxi, is, hey, let's go to Dairy Queen and get everybody ice cream.
Yes.
But I think when in that title, it's a great title, or Adult Wanted, you want somebody who can have fun. You want the boyfriend who can go to the concert, and I bet if he did what he did on a bus with a headset, Jenn, he'd look goofy as shit. But in that concert, right, he was there, and he's happy as can be.
He was rocking out.
Exactly. And you want that because you want somebody who's happy. You want somebody who is unapologetic for who they are. And that's where I had to get, was a place where I could be unapologetic without regret of who I am. And I still do funny stuff. One of the big things we do around the house is we scare each other. And instead of jumping out and screaming, I can be really loud. Instead of jumping out and screaming really loud, a lot of times I'll know my wife's in the bathroom, and I'll just stand in the doorway. And I'm 6'6", 350 pounds.
Oh my
so
God.
I fill the doorway. I just wait for her to open it up. And she jumps back. And she laughs every time, right? Well, maybe not every time, but
Right.
and we do that with the kids, and they try to get us, and so it keeps it fun. And then we embarrass the kids. So yesterday, coming back, we went to Disney this week, and it's long days, man, and exhaustion. And my wife ended up not getting a shower for 2 nights. She was just so exhausted. And it's like, screw it, we're going to be driving home. I'll be nasty, I don't care. And we're at lunch, and I told my son, hey, I'm going to try some of your chicken. I put some sauce on it. She goes, that's not trying it. That's just eating it if you put sauce on it. And we're at lunch with the kids sitting right there. And my oldest is 13, so he knows what we're talking about. It's just this is who we are. This is the childlike nature in us, right? We have fun no matter unapologetically. So I told her, I'll try some of you later, because if I don't get a shower, it's going to be sauce. And that's just stop. And we're cracking up. And my son was like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's balance is the key word.
Right.
Being able to rest in your skin, not having to do, when it's that man-child thing, not having to have that trigger to make you happy, or if you have to pout about something, then you need to fix the issue. That's the man-child part. Is if I couldn't play my games, I'd be all pouty and sad because it made me happy to play my video games. Now, I'm not talking about Jen specifically, but this is Jen's story, right? So if I played the PlayStation 4 and my wife is prancing around in her underwear, that shit gets turned off. I don't know, what can I do? You're like, get out of the way, I can't see. I'm like, sorry guys, I gotta go play with a woman now. See?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that boy was damaged. Severely. Although if Kratos doesn't fucking die soon, I'm gonna kill somebody. I'm gonna fucking murk that fucking PlayStation.
Let him finish the game. Stop it.
It doesn't ever end.
See, there's balance to that too. I'm big on mobile gaming now. For the last couple of years, I do podcasts about certain mobile games, and my wife would just start saying to me, we'd sit down, and TV time's not quality time, but it's what we have. Because at the end of the night, after the kids and work and everything else, sitting down and watching something together that we enjoy is what we have right now.
Right.
And so I would sit down on the couch with her and be playing my video game on my phone. And I'm here, but I'm not present.
Right.
I forget exactly what she said, but basically it was that same thing. It wasn't nagging. It wasn't all the time. It was just enough going, really, you're on that again, or really, you got to do this. So we started finding a balance of, if I didn't have something I had to complete, like time-wise, that I didn't have to get done, I just put it down. And it wasn't easy for me, but I put it down and understand, accept, I'm not going to get as much out of this game, but I am going to get more out of my relationship. And she appreciated that. And then we found the balance. I talked to her, and she would be honest. Like, she just flat out said to me in a non-harsh way of, you're not here. You're still away. Even though you're sitting here, you're still away because you're just looking at that and doing that, or you're working on a text, or, can you put it down? Every once in a while she'd ask me, can you put it down? And I would. Now it's gotten to the point of, if I have to get something knocked out, it's like, look, I've got knock out these few battles left to help the team out, and then I'm going to put it down. And I get those battles done, and I put it down. You have to be true to your word. And there is a balance. I mean, I get it. I get a game that you want to play all the time. And I was fortunate the last game I had like that. My wife was working 8 hours while I was at home. So I could just spend 8 hours playing my game. When she came home, I turned it off. That was easy. But in your life, Jen, you can take the plug out of the wall.
No, I mean, he's not that bad. I mean, when I first met him, he was playing some, like, mobile game. I don't know if it was, like, Age of Empires. It was some fucking shit that he had, like, timers on his phone to, like, go back to because he had to
I have timers on my phone.
I was like, what the fuck is that? He's like, oh, it's my game. I was like, is this going to be a thing? And then I think finally, like, I don't know if he still plays him. I haven't seen him play him in a long time. But I think he tried to, like, sell the accounts or something like that because he had built them up so much. And, like, I've admittedly spent money on Candy Crush, but like I don't know how much. I don't want to know, but like yeah, I know he spent money on it. I asked him how much. He's like, you don't want to know. I'm like, what the fuck? So I don't think that's a thing anymore. I mean, sometimes he'll be playing like I don't know. He's playing Angry Birds lately. I'm like, what the fuck? But he doesn't play video games. Like he only plays God of War. Like everyone's like, oh, he's gonna get something after this, and he's like, no, babe, I just want to finish this. But it took him like fucking a week to kill that Valkyrie bitch, and Kratos and his little son. Thank God Kratos was finally saying his son's name before he's like, son. I'm like, oh god. People are like, sit down, watch this with me. I'm like, no, I just don't want to. So like today I told him, I was like, I'm gonna go out with my friend for dinner. Her and I are gonna go. I have to study later, and I was like, then we're probably just gonna grab dinner. I was like, so you can play your video game all night. He's like, I thought we were going to go to the gym together. I'm like, no, I'm not coming home to go to the gym with you and then fucking going back out. I'm like, I'll be out and I'll just see you later.
Yes, and that's perfect, right? There were so many times when I was at a place, the house we're in now, it's not going like that, but we're at a place where if my wife went out, I'd have at least an hour. And there were definitely days when I'd be working so much. And she goes, you know what? I'm going to go hang out with my mom. I'm going to take the kids. You've got the day. So I'd sleep in, and then I'd get up and I'd play my video games all day. When they came home, I was there for them 100%.
Right.
And I had missed them, right? And so what you're talking about, Jen, that's perfect balance.
Yeah.
Hey, realize you got free time, man. Take it.
I'm going
and
to tell
then
him, be like,
appreciate
play
when
your
she comes
game,
back.
and then when I come home, we'll binge watch Queer Eye.
That's funny.
The one on Netflix?
Yeah.
The last episode of the new season, the first season on Netflix, where it's at Newton County Fire Department.
Uh-huh.
That's I work 5 minutes from that.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
I was watching it, and my boyfriend kind of walked in on it, and he's like, hey, when you get me stuck on these stupid shows. But then this season, or the last season of the Queer Eye was very it was just very involved and very touching. There was a situation where they kind of went to some guy's house, and he was a super big Trump supporter, and he opened up his heart basically to the fact that there was black and black gay men in his house working with him, and he said I think he was a cop. He was a cop, and he said not that he has any issues, but he understands why people do. And then him and Karamo, who's the African American resident gay guy there on the show, they had this heart to heart about how as a black man he's really scared, and as a cop, he's we get scared too. And they just had this real open conversation, and it was beautiful. It was really awesome to show on TV. I hate when they show things in a negative light, and it was just really awesome. And we both got super invested in the show. So
well, no, but see, there's the compromise.
Right.
He watches your whack ass shows, and you you watch him play video games.
You're missing it. He's excited to watch it. He wants to see it as much as I do.
But it's your show. It wasn't his before.
I didn't ask him to watch it. Now it's our show.
Oh, there we go.
But,
our show now.
But no, sometimes I'll sit and play my word game on my tablet while he plays his game. But 9 times out of 10, I'm like, okay, well, you're playing your game. I'm gonna go catch up on the Wahlburgers or one of my other dumb shows that he doesn't like. So.
And you can set time limits. Hey, let's take. When my wife and I first quit our jobs and worked the same schedule, we hadn't worked the same schedule ever in our marriage, and we started working the same schedule side by side. It was a struggle at first, and then we got to, hey, I would say to her, hey, what are you doing? She said, oh, I don't have any plans. I'm just going to work on this. Hey, is it cool if I play my game for an hour or so? Yeah, go do that. And you not literally set a timer, but you would watch the time because it is easy to get lost in a game.
Right.
And all of a sudden 4 hours is gone. And that's you find that balance, because what do you want? Why are you with this person? Because you want to be with them, but it can't be them 24/7, right? You get tired of that. You're like, get off of me, man. I heard a bishop recently, the guy I work with on Sunday mornings, Jim Swilly. He was talking about balance as well, and he's talking about that. He said, I can just stay in bed with you all day. Sex is good, but after about 3 hours, I think I might want to get up and do something else, man.
Get a sandwich or something.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. He said that. He's like, get a sandwich. But he's like, this whole overly romanticized bullshit idea of okay, gamer guys, right? They want gamer girls. Really, you want somebody who's just as into that game as you are? What else are you gonna do?
Right. After that, you have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, the other day I said, listen, let's eat dinner together. Like, we ordered some food. I was like, and let's watch a movie. And then after the movie, you could do whatever the fuck you want. And, like, I stuck to that. Like, we ordered some food. We watched Acrimony, which was fucking crazy. That Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit was bananas. And that's it's a really good podcast conversation. But I want April to see it. I need to have a conversation with her about it. Then the movie was over. I was like, Base. I was like, have fun with Kratos. I'm out. So.
But also you have to understand, and I know this is a good dialogue too. But sometimes I wanted to say this on that episode, the man-child episode, whatever, is that sometimes to some gamer guys, that's our way of communicating with you. That's why we want you to be there.
What?
No, to watch.
Yeah, to watch.
Yeah,
shared experience.
Yeah, it's a shared experience to us. And sometimes we don't know how to say it or why we want you to watch this part or whatever. Because I know sometimes guys will want to teach their girls how to play this particular game, and the girl's like, "What the? I don't know what a freaking spark plug is. Why you want me to play this racing game?" It's like, no. I just want you to like be there with me, so like maybe we could like race together or something like that. And like the girl would be like, "What? This is stupid." But that's our way of communicating with, to you.
And you know what I did? I took my wife to the game store. It's like, pick out what you think you'd like, and we played Yoshi Yarn,
yes,
Kirby. And
that's a good game.
Everybody loves Mario Kart. We played all the Mario Karts.
Yeah.
But I'll let her. She'll look at that. Now, weirdly enough, she's a completist. So when I'm done with the game, like, yeah, we've got close enough. I don't need to play. She's like, no, I wanna beat every level, and I wanna get everything. I'm like, come on, Yoshi, who cares? But I found that shared experience that she would enjoy instead of forcing her into one of my war games or something else that I was playing.
And that's why I wanted you to get the Friday the 13th game, because I know you love horror.
Yeah, I mean, I play Tekken and Mortal Kombat. And I did buy the Walking Dead game.
Oh, yeah.
But
there you go.
I don't know. I gotta keep going with that. Like, I haven't played it in years.
Yeah.
You need to get, especially if you want him to play with you, you need to get Dead Space 3.
Oh.
And the two of you can go together. It's horror. It's one of the best horror survival games out there, in my opinion. And the two of you can play it together at the same time. It's great.
There's like a lot of arcades popping up around here in Jersey. People are like restoring the old arcade games and kind of like it's like play by the hour as opposed to like popping quarters. And we went and did that the other night. And there's a couple other ones. One just opened in we had this conversation. One just opened in Hawthorne. So like we actually enjoy doing that, and I actually wouldn't mind going to like a Dave and Buster's. And sometimes we play like when we went to the arcade. Like sometimes we play together, and some things we just play on our own.
Yeah.
But it was a fun experience because he got to do something he liked doing, and I got to play the old school games and pinball that I like. And then we kind of had dinner together, and it was a nice like date, or not date, but nice date period. It's kind of like the balance. I mean, but he's not really like a super gamer, so he just has like this like a affinity love for God of War, and hopefully it'll fucking be over soon. Cause last night he was like playing, and he was like, "Do we have to go to the concert?" I was like, "Are you serious right now? You love Def Leppard." He's like, "I'm so close. I just need to get to the tower, and I think I know how to get there now." I was just like, I didn't even say goodnight last night. I didn't know if he came to bed. I was just like, yo, I'm fucking beat. Good night. I'm out of this bitch.
Oh, man. That's funny.
But wait, this is not what we're talking about today, is it?
No, it's not. No, but hey, it's a good conversation. No, but before we get into
what are we talking about?
Before we get into the conversation, I wanted to test Charles.
Oh.
Because he was very adamant, about in the last episode, about him being married for 17 years and still acting like newlyweds, which is great, which is awesome. I can only hope for that. And being a big kid at heart, which I already am. I have 2 questions for you, sir. And I think you're gonna get it because you were very adamant about knowing these things because you said you remember dates. So
yes.
I want to know if you remember the date of your first date?
That would be, I think it's October 17th.
What year?
Of 19. That should be 1990. Hold on. Because I remember we got married roughly a year later, and that was just right in the 2001. So I guess it'd be 1999, October 17th.
Yes, yes. Oh, I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, he's right there. He's one number off. All right. And this is kind of, I mean, you really didn't settle on a date right here because it was kind of like a mishmash or whatever, but you did kind of give a date. But what date was your first kiss?
Yeah, that one's a little tougher because it was right around Halloween. It was our second date because I'm sure I told the story, but I won't tell it again because that's what I do. I watched. Damn it! What is that stupid movie? I can see the people in it. Swingers.
Yes,
I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3-day rule. You don't call a woman for 3 days. And so I learned everything I learned about relationships from TV because my parents didn't tell me jack shit. They tried to put me through Bible camp and shit, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So we went on our date on the 17th. I was going to wait 3 days. Well, 2 days in, she calls me, right, and wants another date and wants to have me come over. I can't remember if Halloween was on a weekend or basically for Halloween, but I don't know if it's the exact night.
Right.
And we settled on her coming to the station where I was working. I was working on an ambulance at the time, and she came to the ambulance station, and it was that night. So I'll just say it's like let's just say it was October 31st, but it was the second date,
mm-hmm.
and it was for Halloween because she wanted me to go trick-or-treating with her. I was like, no, we're not children. Well, if you got a sexy party going on, then you might lose me. So, So, yeah, we'll just go. We'll go with Halloween. But it was that second date, which was about a week later.
Yep. That was the date that you gave me. It was Halloween. So awesome. Cool. All right. So now, 50 minutes in, we'll get into our topic. So, I wanted you to get back on the show, definitely because of obviously, you see, we just have a great time here, and also I wanted you to meet Jenn. And I wanted for you to pick the topic, and you picked several topics, and I thought this one was really good. Yours was more specific, how to keep a relationship fresh after 20 years, and I thought that was just absolutely amazing. And I was like, oh, that's a perfect topic because I don't think people do that enough, and I know that you've been married for 17 years, and me and Jenn, we definitely want to reach that and beyond, so why did you specifically want to talk about that subject?
Because it's hard, man. It's you get focused on the little things. Honestly, you get focused on not having sex when you want sex. You get focused on too much other things in life instead of each other. I mean, there were times when I thought we were just on auto control, right? Auto cruise or something like that, where it's just going on. So you have your first kid. And before that, I was damaged, Jen. I don't know how much of the show you might have heard or how much I got into it, but I was very damaged when it came to a relationship. And I couldn't love myself. I had a lot of difficulty loving myself. So my wife, when we were first married, wouldn't want to have sex all the time. And I pushed her away. I called her a little nympho sometimes, and not in a nice way necessarily. Mm-hmm. And who does that, right? It's like, why wouldn't you want to fuck the love of your life constantly?
Right.
Who wants it?
Yeah.
I mean, to the point, Jen, that she said, why is it, how'd she phrase it? I'm trying to remember it, because it stuck with me mostly, because it changed me. But she's like, why is it we only have sex when you want it, not when I want it? And I remember going in the bathroom and looking myself in the eye going, something along the lines, because I feel like shit, not physically, but internally.
Yeah.
And I'm addressing you specifically, Jen, because you sound a lot like my wife. The way you do things, the way you look at life, the way you want things. And the truth is, you can only have sex when the other person wants it, right?
Right. Oh, yes.
Obviously, you want it, so they have to want it, or you can't have it. Or it's against the law.
Yes, it is against the law.
But you get tired, and having that first baby, it wears you out. And I remember after this, we had 2 kids close together, 18 months apart. And I got to tell you, man, pregnant sex is amazing because it's just, there's something that kicks in where it doesn't matter how tired your lady is, because she's the one that's pregnant. Obviously, as a man, you can't be pregnant. And it wears you down. And I'm trying to be the good dad, the good husband, and like, oh, baby, take your rest. And she's like, I want you, get over here,
Right.
Because that hormones kick in, and it's amazing. But after that baby comes, you're exhausted because of the sleep schedules and this and that.
Right.
Finally, I mean, we've had a number of talks through the years, which is really, it seems like on paper it should be weird, but it worked for us. I had a talk with her about our life is not about our kids, and if you don't have enough energy for us to have sex, because you can only understand where you come from, right? You can only understand your perspective of the world from your experience, and you can learn other people's perspectives, but you won't fully understand it. And she was tired, and when she's tired, she just doesn't want to do anything. I can be exhausted. I mean, I can be worn out and ready to fall into bed, and my wife goes, "Hey, baby, I'm on. Let's do this. Let's go."
Yeah.
So I didn't understand. We're both exhausted, but I get turned on. I don't know why, So we had to talk about it, and there were times, and this is stuff we came up with. There were times where you just have to have maintenance sex, as we called it. It's like, she's like, yeah, you know what, I'll give you some just to keep you happy. Let's go.
Right.
There are times when you have what you want. It's what maintenance sex could be like prison sex. The sex you get, you don't want.
Oh my God.
But it's working on a relationship. And here's one of the things that I did instead of taking. I was always focused on me. Is like. And it is a chemical thing, I think. I'm not a scientist, but it feels like there are definitely times, and my wife has pointed out, and that's something I had to work on too, being that man-child, was she goes, damn, I know when I finally just have to give you some because you won't stop talking about sex. You make sex jokes. Like, and she goes, it gets old. I'm sorry, But and then I made it funnier, like, but it's your fault. But the reality is, you have to take the eyes off of your needs and help the other person's, their needs. And what my wife needs, and some people would say it's a man-woman thing. I just go with the individual. So I'm going to say specifically for my wife, when we had the 2 kids, and now we have 4, by the way, but when we had the 2 kids, and we were tired, instead of going, let's have sex, I would say, let me give you something you want, which would be a fun family day out.
Right.
And let's go. And she would just have fun with the kids and have fun with me. And that was what I was missing, right? I was missing that she wanted to have fun with me and the family because in her personality, it became about the kids. The kids. And I had to tell her, it's not all about the kids, At one point, we had the honest conversation of, at some point, the kids will grow up and they'll be out of the house. Then where the fuck will we be?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And she didn't have an answer for it. I mean, she had a snarky answer for it, but it wasn't a real one. But sometimes you don't get answers, right? You just ask the question, and the question changes the person and changes you, and you move forward. But yeah, I started doing, planning family days. I wouldn't say I hate going out, but like today's a Saturday, and it's a beautiful day out. My wife has stuff to do, and I've got the kids. I could take them to the park. I ain't gonna take them to the park. I don't want to fucking leave the house. I can take them to the park. But she's the opposite. She's like, where can we go? What can I do to take them and entertain them and have fun? And there's been a balance, and you learn from each other. But if you don't take care of each other, you won't get taken care of yourself. And at a certain point in our marriage, I knew if we went out and had a great family day, and I didn't do it to get sex. I did it to invest in her and connect with her where she was. And we'd come home, and all of a sudden, we'd have some amazing sex. Like, oh, well, that worked. Awesome.
Right.
But then there's other times when it doesn't work. But I'm going to let you ask another question or steer it wherever you want to go. But Jen and Martina, you both have been in long-term relationships. I mean, anything over a year, in my opinion, is pretty good. 5 years is great. What do you do? What have you done?
I'm trying to think. I guess like right now, we try to like just. I mean, we don't have kids, and right now we don't know where that's gonna like lead. But whatchamacallit, like I guess keep doing the things that we like doing, like going to the concerts, going out to go do little fun things. Like before when we didn't live together, like I guess it was different because we would kind of just like go see each other, and that would be like our hangout time, or we'd go to like dinner together or something. But now that we live together and we see each other every day, and he's usually open for anything. Like he doesn't always suggest things because I think he thinks he's like a bad planner. Sometimes I'll like see something on Groupon and I'll be like, oh, would you like to do that? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And he'll be like, oh, cool. We'll get the Groupon and we'll go do it. But like, we'll just pick various things to do and just go do them just to have fun. Or, I asked someone if he wants to play a board game. He was like, no. I was like, okay. He was like, I don't know. I don't like board games. I was like, okay. I try to like encourage him to kind of like, since we don't have kids, like I kind of like encourage him to like invite his friends over more, like other couples. But I mean, he doesn't. I don't know. He's kind of like really. I don't know. He's not very like engaging. Like he has like best friends, but like I feel like if they don't reach out to him for something in particular, like he doesn't necessarily reach out. Like I even offered to him. I was like his best friend. I was like, because they've invited us places before, and just because of his work schedule, we haven't been able to go. I was like, oh, do you want to invite them on the cruise? And he's just kind of like, no, he's like, he did say finally, he's like, I want us to go by ourselves. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. Like, but he doesn't, sometimes it's hard to get him to verbalize those things. So I was happy he did. But even like, there's some friends, like in the beginning of our relationship, he was kind of like, there were times where like his friends would invite him out, and due to like my health condition, like I couldn't go. And I told him at times he can go, but then he's like, no, I can't go. Like, I'm not going to leave you by yourself. That's fucked up. So, like, now that, like, things are, like, more stable and we're good, I'm like, why don't you invite them over? Like, why don't you just, and he'll be like, oh, they have kids. They can't just get up and leave. I'm like, okay, so why don't you ask them what weekend they are free, and we'll plan to have them over for dinner that weekend or to go out for drinks that weekend. Yeah. So I try to, like, get him to, like, do stuff like that. I mean, it's not necessarily for our relationship, but it is to a degree, but it's also because I don't want him to like feel any resentment ever that he's like in a relationship and that he still doesn't get to see his friends, because my friends are very accessible to me. Like I'll be like, oh, this person's coming over, that person's coming over, or let's go here with like April and her boyfriend, and he'll be like, okay, fine, like he's open to it, he loves all my friends, he's friendly with everybody, but like I don't want him to feel like it's just about my life and not his life, so I try to get him to invite his friends places. He's always like, oh, I don't want to intrude on their life. And I'm just like, yo, you got to hit them up and just be like, yeah, I want to see you. I want you, like, I haven't even met I've met the important people in his life, his important friends. But there's, like, some people who I just haven't met yet. And, like, it's not because he doesn't want me to. It's just because, he doesn't, like, I guess, like, he's just very laid back. Like, oh, if they hit me up and they want to do something, whatever. But as far as we go, like, I just try to, like, every once in a while, like, plan something different. Like, we did the arcade thing. That was kind of different, and even though we were both kind of like, it's a Friday night. We shouldn't go out. We're lazy. We're tired. We kind of just, like, pushed ourselves to go out. We had a good time. And, every once in a while, just to do something different. So it's not just, like, the monotony of, like, eating dinner together, watching a movie together, We do go to the movies a lot. Oh, my God.
Well, I hope you got Movie Pass.
No, I actually don't. We probably should. I have the AMC thing, so we collect all our points and, like, usually get free food. We have the AMC Stubs thing. But Movie Pass would probably be a lot more better at this point.
Oh, yeah, $10 a month for all the movies you can watch.
Yeah.
You don't get AMC points. AMC fights with them, but yeah, that's there. But the two things I heard there specifically was the easy answer for a woman. And this is the TV thing, but it is the easy answer for a woman. It's like, oh, I just surprise him with a blowjob, or I get some sexy underwear, and that doesn't keep it fresh. No, that's it's a cool thing. Don't get me wrong.
I have Superman underwear, but I mean, I don't think that's gonna work every time.
Exactly. So, when my wife first got married, she enjoyed walking around naked. That's how she liked to be. But after a while,
I love her.
Like, there's no, I was like, but there's no mystery. I told her, I was like, there's no mystery. You know, I see it's one of those things you not numb to it, but it's like I see it all the time. I'm not telling you to cover up because you should be ashamed or anything. I'm saying if you cover up, then I want to see it more type of deal. And I said, do whatever you want. You know, I never put pressure on her to do anything. And she would sleep naked, and that led to some fun times. But
4 kids. I mean, hey. It didn't happen from sleeping in freaking pull-ups or zip-up pajamas.
Pull-ups depends for adults. So, yeah. I mean, there's balance. There is a balance to everything. And she would get stuff to put on and whatever. But that's the easy answer, right? But you went to the real answer, which was doing different things, finding them, but pushing people out of their boundaries. I have had some of my best experiences and guys, I want you to hear this. Martini, boyfriend, you need to listen to this episode because you need to listen to your partner because they'll listen to you. I'm sure he does stuff that pushes you in different directions. I've heard your stories of how you hate guys who play games, but yet you got to work. You found a balance type of deal. So you're both listening to each other. One of the easiest things I do is my wife loves tulips and she loves to save money. So if I see in the grocery store, I don't go to a flower shop, I go to the grocery store. And if they have tulips sitting there and they're marked down on clearance, I will grab them. Sometimes I'll buy them full price, but I'll just randomly grab them and leave the clearance sticker on. And I'll come home and show her tulips, and then she turns it around immediately and sees a clearance sticker, and it's a bonus. Right? She wants to see that at the sale. And she's so happy. It's my background on my phone is the last time I took a picture of it. She's just the happiest she can be. And it's that little thing of she might have had a long day. Who knows? It's just a random thing I found. And it matters, right? Doing a little thing that matters. Cleaning up. She likes to keep a clean house, and if she's busy and tired, now I hate to clean, so I'll make the kids do it. But I'm like, we need to clean up this living room. Let's vacuum the floor and this and that. And I tell them, let's help make mom happy. But that's the reality of it. Is how you keep it fresh. Is you have to listen to the other person. But Martini, what about you, man? What have you done?
Martini's like, why am I in trouble?
What was the question you asked?
Before Martini speaks, I have to say this. As somebody who's dated Martini, as somebody who's known Martini for a long time, Martini does, like, very thoughtful things. So Martini sometimes thinks that, like, I don't actually know if you think you're, like, kindred spirits with my boyfriend or something like that, but, I mean...
I see a lot of similarities with him.
Right. Like, and my boyfriend...
Yeah, I heard that episode. Don't fuck it up because it'll be like your second chance. Like, Martini, don't make it weird, man.
I know. I was like, this just got super awkward. But Martini does, like, really nice and, like, thoughtful, sweet things like that. So, I don't know about Martini. What have you done in your past relationships, not me included?
Or here's a better question. What has somebody done in your relationship that made you go, man, that's awesome. I'd like to keep that and do that for somebody else or have them do that again for me.
Wait, what did
what did your partner, your female
do for
partner,
me?
Your girlfriend do for you that you were like, wow, I was kind of thinking that we were stale or as a surprise, and man, that kept it fresh.
Well, I remember our last anniversary, like we decided to, like, because every year our anniversary always fell on the week of New York Comic Con, so that was like our like anniversary / like fun time thing, and that year we just didn't have the money to do it, so we're just like F it, whatever, and we weren't like mad about it. It was just like whatever. But me, I was always struggling with money, so like I always wanted to do that because it was a really fun thing. It was because one, it's a fun event to go to, but two, I finally found somebody that I can go with to do that with. It was really awesome because I would always run into girls who weren't into that stuff or like made fun of that world, So I remember I forgot what I got her, but it was something, and but it wasn't to my liking just because I just didn't have the money to get what I really wanted to get her. So I was just feeling down, and she like gave me an envelope, and I opened up the envelope, and it was 2 tickets to Comic-Con that year. And I was like, oh, snap. I was like, what? Like, you didn't have to do this. I thought we agreed to not do this. But she's like, yeah, but you, like, I know like how much it means to you, and like I love going to, and blah blah blah. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. So that was really cool.
And here's a little tip for the young players. Your anniversary happens at the same time every year. So if you really want to do something nice for it, you can start planning as soon as the first one ends.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We do, for the family, we do this thing. We call it Christmas Town. It's Stone Mountain Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something we've done since my wife and I were dating. And we've only missed 1 year. It's because my youngest son was born mid-October. And we usually go in November to this thing, late November. And he was just too little. He couldn't go.
Right.
Actually, no, he was born mid-November. My daughter's born in October. He was born in November.
Mm-hmm.
So there was just no way to go. And I talked to the 2 older kids at the time, and I said, you know, this is a family thing. We can still go. Your mom wants us to go. What do you think? They're like, well, basically in their little brains, they were essentially like, without her, it's not the same. So we're not going. That's the only time we didn't go. But so every year, at tax time, we make sure to put money away. But every year, my wife doesn't know it, but every year, as soon as we get back from Christmas Town, and it's just a one-night thing, we go and enjoy it. It's a beautiful thing. We've always done it.
Mm-hmm.
Is I start putting some money away in my drawer just in case.
Yeah.
Because it's important to us. And that's the part that we lie to ourselves about. You want to talk about keeping it fresh after 17, 20 years, after 10, after a long time, whatever your long time is.
Mm-hmm.
What is important? Because you're actually just going to do what's important to you, and you take your eye off the goal. And I was telling stories about my wife saying, "Oh, work calls, and you put up with this, and you do this and do that," and we had to have a hard conversation too about a little side note. You got to be clear because other people don't understand what you're doing. When I was on the hustle, being that I worked for myself only and I had to have clients, I'd have a client every time she called, I'd pick up the phone and yes and this and yes and that. And I'd get up and I'd bitch about it for an hour. And we got into a fight one night, my wife and I. She's like, when that person calls, you'll just do it, you'll talk and do it. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm tolerating that because it's paying the bills. The second the money goes away, I'm not putting up with that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here because I want to be here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No matter what your bullshit is, woman. Yeah, sometimes I said that those fights don't go well. But she didn't understand. What she saw was I'm always putting up with I'm doing things for these people that I hate, and she can't get me to do this one thing she thought she wanted me to do, or whatever it was she was missing. And you have to have that communication. And unfortunately, in our house, a lot of times, I've been trying to change this reality, and that's something that I've learned in the last couple of years is you control your own reality. People say that the axiom is perception is reality,
mm-hmm.
and you control that. And I finally had a fight, I guess, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now, with my wife that wasn't a fight. She was losing her shit. She was angry. And I was sitting there going, okay, I can talk to you about this, and I have some points to make, but I understand that. But her mom was dying, and there's a lot of other things were playing into her emotions. I'm like, but it was the first time ever in our marriage that there was a fight where I just didn't take things personal and start fighting back. And after that, I really worked on let's talk about things, let's head things off, to the point that there'll be, because that was our pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has patterns. You'll start to see them. If you pay attention, you'll start to see them in your relationship. But our pattern was we'd work up to a fight would be coming, then we'd fight, get all that negative emotion out, then we talk.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd talk about the issues and fix some of it. Some of it would stay the same, which would lead to another fight later. But and my wife was like, fight's coming. And I finally said, why? And then a fight came and then went away. And then the next one, she's, well, a fight's coming. I said, can we just not?
Right.
Can we just sit down and you just tell me exactly what it is that's pissing you off right now and let me talk to you about it?
Yeah.
And it's helped some. But that's the thing is when you have something that's important to you, like New York Comic-Con and your anniversary, is it really? Because you can focus on it and you can get it done. And she did. She focused on it and got it done.
Mm-hmm.
And that was important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Important to both of you. And Obviously not important enough to keep her, but that's okay. But no, it's you gotta let go. You gotta let go of what you want, and you have to give the other person what they want. Giving is receiving.
Right.
I mean, look, let's be adult here for a second.
Mm.
However you feel about sex and the prelude to sex, I have found the best sex. This is how we keep it fresh. Is the truth of the matter is when you have 4 kids, and I work all the time. There's sometimes Saturdays I have off, but not every Saturday. Other than that, I'm working 1 to 2 jobs, or I'm running my podcast network. I'm doing a bunch of things creatively and financially.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing something all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm tired. And my wife is dealing with the house and the kids and her family. She's got a lot of family drama that goes on all the time. And when you're doing that, you're tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so, no, the joke is when you get married, certain things stop. And then when you have kids, you stop having sex. Well, the reality is we could force sex. And forcing sex is, I mean, in all reality, pretty much most sex is good, right? It's you get your release, you're fine.
Yeah.
But what we've realized is I want her to have the most fun possible.
Absolutely.
And so the giving of it, the making sure she has a great time, to make sure it falls only in the right times that works for her, has led to some great sex. But you have to, and that's how you keep it fresh, right? I had to let go of. Well, I'm not nearly as tired as you, I guess, because I'm horny when you're not, and and you just have to say, what can I do? Can I help you go to sleep tonight? Let me take the kids and make sure they're done. Man, school sucks. Public school sucks because my kids have to get up at 6:30 in the morning.
Damn.
And my wife gets up to do that, and then she'll get the other ones ready, and I get up at 8 to go to work, and sometimes she'll push me to get out of the bed, and I'll take care of them. But for the most part, she's got stuff she has to do in the morning, so she wants to get up and handle. But that means by 8 o'clock at night, you're exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that shit. But you have to find that balance, and sometimes you just here's the biggest thing I've learned to keep it fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Right now is just right now. Everything changes. I could tell you story after story of just having the 1 kid, then the 2, and then how life changed and energy and this and that, and then we had 2 more kids, or work, or family members dying, or drama. Life is up and down.
Mm-hmm.
If you just understand right now is just right now, and focus on a better tomorrow, you'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the story of Jenn and the gamer boyfriends. I mean, I still drives me crazy that you talked about prancing in front of him. He just told you to get out of the way of the TV. You broke up with the right dude at that time. That was a bad thing. And I don't know who this other guy is, Brooklyn. That every time y'all say his name, it's not Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn.
Well, that's the guy. That's
that same guy.
Yeah, Brooklyn is the gamer guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So no, you did good. But
I know I did. Brooklyn had a baby, and everyone's hitting me up.
Don't spoil it for him. He's not up to it yet.
Well, whatever. Brooklyn had a baby, and everyone's like, "Oh, do you want to see the pictures of the baby?" I'm like, whatever, fine, show them to me. And
God.
so then, my friend hit me up. She's like, "Yo," because she's still friends with him. They were friends. They had a work relationship. So she was not friends, not hanging out, going for fucking coffee, but Facebook friends. So she's like, yo, he doesn't like his kid's pictures. He doesn't have any pictures with his kid. He didn't put any pictures up of his kid. She's like, that's that dude. She's like, that's some fuck shit right there. She's like, what the fuck? And I was like, yo, another bullet dodged, dude. Another bullet dodged.
Yeah.
Could have been me.
That was your then. That was your today then. But you wanted a better tomorrow. And now it sounds like you have one.
Yes. I do agree with what you're saying. Sometimes it's really the little things and my boyfriend's awesome with that stuff. I have to say thanks to him and Amazon Prime. They should sponsor us. The other, I don't know how long ago it was. We were I was playing music in the kitchen with my Google Play, and I was playing "Try a Little Tenderness" because for whatever reason,
Nice.
I think that song was in "Dream a Little Dream." I could be totally wrong, but I think it was. And And I just like love that song. Like I love the way it begins. I love like the build up. I love the whole thing. So we have like this like little weird thing where like sometimes we'll like slow dance in the kitchen. It's super corny,
Sure.
but whatever. So then like a couple weeks later, he like comes home and he like brought his record collection from home. And he's like, I knew I had it. And like he like went home and dug through his records and he had the record at home. And he like brought it and added it to our collection. So like just little stuff like that I think is like super cute. And sometimes it doesn't cost anything. Other times he'd look for it on Amazon or eBay and then show it up at the door. He'd be like, look what I got for you.
Exactly.
Which I've done the same thing for him too. Like, I got him like the Def Leppard Photograph 45. And like he was having like a really bad week and it happened to come in the mail. And I was like saving it for like something to give to him. And I was just like, fuck it. I was like, look what I got you. And he's like, oh my God, that was so nice. And then I was just like, see, that was right. And recently, like, I took Post-its and I wrote like positive affirmations on the Post-its. Like you are loved. I told him like you're loved. You're a good son. You're a great boyfriend. You're handsome. I love your smile. All these things, and I like posted them up on his side of the wall, like on the bed, in the bedroom. And like he came upstairs and like I was like, I had posted them before I had like gotten into bed and gone to sleep, and then he got into bed and he was like, babe. I was like, and then I was like, do you want me to take them down because like because I have a lazy roommate, we have a cleaning lady. Because he refuses to clean, so he agrees to pay for the cleaning lady. I don't want to sound like super bougie, like, I have a cleaning woman. So, because my roommate's lazy, we have a cleaning lady. I was like, do you want me to take them down before the cleaning person comes? He's like, no. He's like, I already took a picture of them. I was like, oh, he really liked them. That was nice. And it didn't cost anything. It was just like a simple thought. Like, I know sometimes he gets like hard on himself, so I kind of wanted to, boost up his ego a little bit.
Yeah, that matters, for the longest time, my wife didn't understand what podcasting was and why it's important to me, and she thought it was a stupid little hobby. And until I hit my first show 100 and was just going to do a small party, and I don't do small. I'm the right guy podcasting. Like, if anybody wants to come, you can come. Here's my address. People showed up. We had 50 to 60 people in my house.
Oh, nice.
People flew in from other places to come and celebrate. It was great and crazy. And she's like, what the fuck? But I also gave her what she loves. She loves to host and throw a party. And that's the thing. When you got to always lean towards the positive. Give them those words. We went to hear, I love the 90s. I think it was last summer, which was Salt and Peppa and All
nice.
for One and Coolio and stuff that we grew up with and love. I took her to that as a huge date night. And for a while after that, I would leave little sticky notes on her computer for the morning she got up, like, I can love you like that. And stuff. It's corny and cheesy, but it's fun. And the seriousness of it was, at one point, I don't remember where it was in her depression or whatever, because she's very close to family, no matter how nasty and horrible her family can be. And they can be great, too. But there's a lot of especially towards the end of her mother's life, there was a lot of nastiness there. Mm. And she, no matter what, she's still connected to it. So when her mom died, she's very depressed. She's depressed through the dying and then the death. And it's only been about a year now, but somewhere in that process, she was, I try to tell her she's sexy and beautiful every once in a while. I try to back off and give her room. That's the other thing. You've got to learn that you can't fix everything.
Right.
You can't be a part of every little thing. Sometimes, and it was tough during the time, because her mom lives 2 doors down, and she would literally go over there and be over there cleaning her ass and at midnight, and I'd lose her. And then every time her mom went to the hospital, her brother has got social anxiety disorder, so every time her mom went to the hospital, she would have to go and live there essentially for a little while. And again, it's only 2 doors down, but I don't have my wife.
Right.
And it was tough, but I had to accept what I can do for her is take care of the kids and make sure everything gets run right. Here. Mm-hmm. And it was long nights and early mornings. It was crazy, but it's what she needed. And she was so happy to come home to me. And even, like I said, even though it was 2 doors down and we'd visit, it was not the same. But at some point during all of this last year, I can't remember how we got to the conversation, but basically she's like, why are you pushing on me and this and that? It's like, look, I'm trying to give you your room. I'm not trying to have sex with you all the time. But I feel like, I believe, and if I believe it, then it'll become reality. I feel like it's going to be way too easy to fall into the you don't feel loved anymore. You don't feel beautiful. And I want you to know, no matter what, yeah, I'm here for the kids. I'm here to help you. But I want you to know I still find you beautiful and sexy, and just like I did when we were dating. And I find that important. And I will try to not do it as much. I'll try to do it in the right times. But I want you to know I would never, ever, ever want you to get to a point in our marriage where you don't think I find you attractive sexually and mentally and physically and spiritually, all that jazz. And I don't remember her answer, but I do know that it helped boost our relationship during that tough time of knowing that I don't need to say it all the time. I don't need to chase you down all the time. But then it played into a good thing of you're talking about the corny cheesiness, but there's other things that go, and it's yours. Don't ever apologize. Don't think it's corny and cheesy. I mean, you want to slow dance, slow dance.
It's genuine. That's what it is. It's not corny. It's genuine.
Yeah. That's that. What I started with is that being unapologetic for who you are makes you who you are. And I slept in for the first time in like 6 months, about a month ago. I'm always going, always
Damn,
doing.
he knows what days like. It was about a month ago.
Yeah.
It was the best morning of my life.
I got an office job in September, and since then it's just been just go, get up, dude, get up. And I'm not a morning person. I'd rather stay up at 3 in the morning and sleep till 2 in the afternoon.
Right.
But I've been getting up at 7:30 and doing this and doing that, and I got to sleep in, and I had energy, and then it was playing grab ass all day. I mean, and she loved it.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "What's going on?" Ooh, and it was, and she played into it. And it was like the slow dance for you. It was just a moment. It was a different thing, and because it didn't happen all the time, and that's the thing. I mean, we still do act like newlyweds when the energy is there, when the time is right, and it's what I love about the relationship. It's why I had that hard conversation. And you have to be honest with each other and yourself. And you're scared to. You're scared to because I believe, I mean, after all this time and work we put in our marriage, that we won't separate. There's not going to be a breaking point. We've survived a whole lot of bullshit.
Right.
And we've survived bankruptcy. We've survived, there's never been any idea of cheating because honestly, there's just nobody for me. There's nobody like her in the world. And I believe the same for her. So there's never been this cheating or anything like that. But you could cheat with work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could cheat with video games. You could cheat with stuff that's just not your partner. It doesn't have to be a human being.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I guess in that case, I probably cheated on her with taking on too much work and doing too much bullshit, not giving her the attention I should have given her.
Yeah.
And we've survived that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the same for her. She's given her family way too much attention sometimes, and we've survived that.
Yeah.
But I started to focus on what I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
right? Instead of being afraid of what I didn't want. I never want to be that old couple that just yells at each other. George Costanza's fairly right. Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. But I can't remember the movie off the top of my head. It's the guy from American Pie, but he has a moose hat on, and it was they tried to monopolize on his popularity. It's back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't remember. It was not a good movie. But his parents did like pop in to see his parents, and they were playing sex games. And it was hilarious. And like, that's the couple I want to be. And then there's something else I saw not that long ago where basically they're unapologetic. They're an older couple, right? They could play parents of adults. And they were like, you need to get out because this is me and your dad is special time. So I'm like, that's the couple I want to be.
Right.
And so focus on what I wanted out of life. Let me back off because fear, crazy, man. Fear will make you do the why you can never be serious. Why you always have to be funny. Fear will make you do the stupid shit. Spend money you don't have to buy something. I did that for my wife once. I spent money we didn't have to try to take her on a trip. Because I was afraid that I wasn't making her happy. Well, what makes her happy is paying the bills, you know? And I wasn't paying attention to that instead of trying to book a trip. And fear will make you do these stupid shit. But if you look at what you want, what do you want in life? I personally want to be happy. I want to have a young relationship. I have a vision board that's in our kitchen. And on that I put always young, in love, and dating. And that was key to me is how many times in our relationships, and this is something you guys can actually talk about, how many times in our relationships have we been young and dating and everything's new and fresh, and that's our time together and everything's, but then you move in together, or for some listeners, you get married, and now it's not so young and fresh anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I guess the thing is that, you know, people have to realize if they're in a relationship for the right reasons, you know? I mean, I think, like, when you're younger, you're like, oh my god, this guy or this girl is, like, super hot, and, like, you know, I don't know. I think our generation is, like, so much different than the generations now. I mean, millennials are, like, super lazy. They don't really want to go out. They think, like, going out is, like, too hard. So,
And then you'll never get what you want. 'Cause you won't put
right.
effort in.
You just kind of like only see like what's in your radius, which 9 times out of 10 is like not much. But like I think depending on, you have to figure out first like who you are, then you have to figure out what you want, and then once you figure out what you want and you figure out how to get it, you have to figure out how to keep it. And like I think that people forget that, you know, like there's so many memes and like, you know, Psychology Today will throw out an article, or People Today will throw out an article, and it will be like, you know, keeping your relationship fresh and, like, remembering that you still have to date that person. Like, the dating never stops. Like, all the cute things you did to, like, get her to be interested in you, like, you still do those things. Like, me and my boyfriend look forward to all our, like, yearly rituals, which include, like, going to the hibachi place that we went to on our first date, even though it takes, like, forever to get a fucking table. Or, like, going to the botanical gardens every year, like, and even, like, there's, like, some years, like, I think this year we were, like, kind of like, oh, do we really want to go? Like, the freaking cherry blossoms weren't even in bloom this year because, I don't know, because Mother Nature's a cunt and she just wanted to do what she wanted to do. But, like, we went anyway, and there was no cherry blossoms, but, you know, we walked around the park, got a little exercise in, and then promptly went to our favorite Jamaican place in Brooklyn. So, I mean, and it wasn't like the thing. It was kind of just like we kind of looked at each other like, oh, do we want to go? But then we were like, no, we have to go. Like, it's tradition, and you know, that's something that we're like building upon, and it's important, like, because it reminds us of who we are and why we're together, and you know, stuff like that. I think people take for granted, and they kind of just want to like, you know, make it like, oh, we're together. We can just, you know, keep on keeping on.
Yeah, or you can get stuck in tradition of, oh, we just go because we... No, I mean, there was something... I think it might have been that time we missed Christmas Town where my wife's like, yo, just go. I was like, no, I want to go. I look forward to going, but this is what we do together.
Right.
And it's not the same. And it's okay to miss because it's not about going. It's about why we do it. So if for some reason the botanical gardens went away, you always still have something... Because the reason you go is not because of the gardens. It's not because it's there. It's because of what it means to you together. Right. You know, and you nailed it. It's effort. How do you keep things fresh after 20 years, after 40 years, after 1,000 years? Because I'm going to hit it. I told my wife I ain't never dying, so you better just hold on tight, lady. We're doing this thing. I got way too much shit to do in life and way too much coolness in the world to see to die. So, but you effort.
Right.
You can't get... You know, I'm going to pick on Martini a little bit because I don't know actually what he does on his Friday nights. But Martini, he can't stay home on Friday night playing God of War, going, I wish I had a girlfriend. And then post on Facebook, oh, I'm so sad, I don't have a girlfriend. No, you got to get out and do some shit and be like, I'm having an awesome life because, or, you know, it could be God of War even. Like, I fucking love God of War, it's amazing. You got to put out that fun energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to, I'm stealing this from Jim Swilly, but there was a real example he gave of this lady who had put on that, you know, the facial cream and stuff and the curlers and stuff you don't normally post. Take a picture of herself going, I'm so sad and alone on a Friday night. And he was literally like, quit fucking posting those pictures, moron. you go out and have fun with your girls or go do something, even if it's on your own, go do something you love. Take a picture of what you're doing that you love and put that out there. I was at Disney this week. I put out a bunch of pictures on Instagram of me and my family because I love my family. I love what we're doing. And somebody, I'm not even sure if I know or not. You know how usernames are. You're not sure if you know the person or not. Somebody just tagged one of them and said more. That's what they said. It was more. And I'm like, that's it. You want to have more fun in your life. have fun and post it out. And that's something you're talking about millennials. That's something most people don't understand is what you put. Words mean things. That defines your reality. Pictures especially define your reality. So if you're putting out crap, I'm alone, I can't do this shit, I'm so sad, that's what your reality is. Stop saying it. Mm-hmm. Stop putting that out there. Stop putting, oh, my hag of a wife, she's busy with the kids, can't do shit for me. Blow me, bitch. You know, come on, man. How about, you know, she's sitting there going, well, I had to raise the kids because you're not here. God damn, dude. You talked about the Brooklyn didn't like pictures of a kid. I saw so many dads who weren't doing shit to take care of their kids at Disney. It wasn't even funny. It's like, seriously? Grab your kid before he gets run over. You know, come on. Do something. Why is the mom going to do everything? And then mom's over on Instagram duck facing shit. I'm like,
oh, God.
Oh, wow. That is
so,
funny.
Martini?
Yes.
What are you doing to get love, man? I don't know why it bothers me so much. It does. What are you doing to get love?
No, it's fine.
I love Charles.
It's fun. It's funny that you're so invested in my life.
We all are.
I don't take offense to that. Personally, nothing right now. I'm just focusing, just on myself. And I know to a lot of people that is a bad thing, but I mean, it's what I can do because I've told people that right now I believe that I pretty much have everything that I feel that a woman would want in somebody, because I always hear it all the time, like even Jenn said it earlier. Oh, I do thoughtful things to people.
That's what you do. That's not who you are.
That's true, but I mean, I'm a great listener. Blah blah blah, all that stuff, So like, I have those attributes that women always post on Instagram saying, I wish this person was this, I wish this person was that. So yeah, I'm all that, but what's it called? To me, I think the thing that stops me, other than obviously myself, is I just don't have the financial means to keep up with stuff like that.
Okay, so what are you doing about that?
Just trying to see what I can do with my passion projects, or try to get what's it called, promotion at the job. So I am doing things to attain that, but a promotion at my job, I can only do so much. The person has to say, okay, yeah, I want you to do this. I can't force myself on them, be like, you better give me this fucking job. So but I am doing things.
If you believe that money's keeping you from finding love,
mm-hmm.
and you're not doing something to actually change your money,
mm-hmm.
you're not working on finding love.
Right. I hear you.
Because there's Lyft.
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's is always hiring. Get
mm-hmm.
a job at that hibachi grill so you can get Jenn a table easy. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff, man.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's making a face, isn't he?
He has on this face. I'm just not touching this today. I'm just really not. But the fact of the matter, I hear what you're saying, and we've had this conversation with Martini before. I don't know if you missed that episode or not. It's like, it's whatever it takes at this point. Like, that's kind of how it has to be. And if it means like necessarily doing something that's not going to benefit your career but will benefit your pocket, then that's what you have to do kind of in the meantime. But
right. Absolutely.
I'd like to rephrase it a little bit because we love you, man. We want you to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all that this is, and I hope Martini knows that. But sometimes I feel like he gets on the defense.
Well, and that's fair. It's fair because he probably gets hit from different directions and all kinds of stuff. And honestly, the times we get defensive is because we've already been beating ourselves up about stuff. Mm-hmm. So here's what I want to encourage you to do, Martini. Forget about the job. Forget about the finances. Forget about all that stuff. Be happy. I can tell you from having, 30,000 jobs in my life, it feels like, is I get stuck in going, oh man, this job's important. I want to do here. But I have found that if I just go be happy, and it can be in a job. I had a shit job, dude. I had a shit job. I didn't think I was going to last a year in. I wrote a letter at the end of my year, you have to do a review for yourself, right? I wrote a letter how I was a lion trapped in a cage. I'd pace up and down, and I fuck these people, and I hate this shit. And I lasted in that job for 6 more years. I became a rock star in that job because what I did after I wrote that letter, I got rid of that negativity I was holding on to. And I threw it away. And then I was like, you know what? This job is paying the bills. It's not making me happy, but it's paying the bills. What can I do to be happy? And that's what I really started focusing on. You said passion projects. I was focusing on podcasting specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where I started building my empire. That set me up to when I lost that job, it actually paid my bills for a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't know it was coming, but I focused on being happy. It's not about your finances. It really isn't. It's not about the job you're in, the career you're in. I don't even know what you do, honestly. I mean, you could work for a mass transit authority for all I know. But it's not about what people are telling you to do. You know, I kind of did get on you. I like to say it this way because it does make you defensive. I stepped on your dick for a second, and I apologize. But
that's quite all right.
It's not about your job or your finances or anything else. It's about finding ways to be happy. And it sometimes we do the things we don't want to do for right now. I had a relationship with a business partner for a while. For the last year of that relationship, my wife was just openly, why are you with this guy? He's just dragging you down. All you do is complain. I said, you're right. I don't know. What I can tell you is I try to be as in tune with the universe as I can,
mm-hmm.
as in tune with myself as I can. I can just tell you right now, even though it's a shitty path and he's not doing right and it doesn't seem to be benefiting me, it's the right thing to do. And
right.
I will know when it's the right thing to change. And about a year later, it was the right thing to change. It came down to it because I wasn't unhappy. But once I said that, once I understood, I'm doing the right thing for the right reasons. And it seemed wrong on the outside. Ultimately, it got me to where I needed to be
mm-hmm.
that I couldn't see coming. So that's what I want to leave you with, man.
No,
Find a way
hear
to be
you.
happy in everything that you do, because a job might not pay you a lot, but it pays you enough to do this other thing that will get you where you want to go. And
yeah.
you know, Grindr is an awesome thing.
and that's what I am currently doing right now. The job that I have is something that I don't want to do, but in the meantime, it's facilitating things that I do want to do, and I am currently making moves to be happy. So that's exactly what I'm doing.
Good,
So.
and that's what I want. Don't you drop that whole bullshit about the finances. Poor people get love all the time, man. It ain't about the money to keep up with the shit. It's just focus on being happy and whatever that means for you.
Mm-hmm.
And happiness will make more happiness in your life.
Absolutely. Oh, you're right.
Sorry.
Yo, what was that sigh for?
I don't know.
That's funny. Is there anything else, Jen?
No, I actually really enjoyed this conversation.
Thanks for sounding so surprised. I appreciate it.
You're so insightful.
No, I'm telling you, man. Charles drops that knowledge, man. See, now you got to go back and listen to the part 1.
I think I did listen to it and I enjoyed it.
Well, listen to it again.
I'll listen to it on my way to my study session.
Yes, exactly. Definitely listen to that. No, it was good.
I'm too old to study for anything.
I hear you. I'm trying to do some classes right now. I'm 40, and I'm trying to work all the jobs I talked about and try to get this extra schooling done. It's like, my brain does not want to hold all of this extra shit.
Oh man.
So where can people find you, Charles?
Yes, please, Charles. Yeah, plug yourself.
Every week on Bed Love Beyond, I'll be back.
Anytime.
Yeah, it's a great. It is. I'll be listening to your show and be like, damn it, why not this? Or I have a question. I know it's an old episode, but that whole side chick episode, I think, where you're talking about you're just not getting this one thing in your relationship, and I was like, I just don't understand that. I could have a conversation for an hour with you guys about that, just asking you questions about your relationship. I've only slept with one person my entire life, so that was I could ask you questions, but beyond that, we're about to get started. I'm bad about just running my mouth. So, CharlesMcFall.com. CharlesMcFall.com is where you can find all of my projects. GiantSizeTeamUp.com is my network that I run, full of different geeky podcasts about. We got Dungeons and Dragons. We got comic books. It's all about fandom. is that network, giantsizeteamup.com. And rockgodofpodcasting.com is my passion project that did about 40-something episodes, 50 episodes. And I just don't have time right now because if you listen to one of those, you'll see is I get a single question or a single topic. I'll go for an hour and a half, 2 hours of just me telling stories and talking about what I learned from those stories. So I just don't have that kind of time to invest right this second, but I will return to doing that. But you can find a lot of what I've talked about here and more over there at rockgodofpodcasting.com.
Nice.
Yeah, and definitely you were very adamant about that one episode on the previous episode. You just couldn't stand it. Like, I don't understand. Like, you were so angry at that guy.
And that's something we need to talk about the next time I come on, because I just want to ask your questions about how you've done relationships and God, cheating blows my mind. The reason cheating pisses me off so much is because you're just not honest with yourself to the point that you think it's okay to do something on the side and somehow still maintain this relationship. What the fuck, man?
That's very greedy.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
Honesty is the best policy, even if someone's feelings get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's feelings always get hurt.
All right, so thank you for listening to us on Podbean, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, and
Google Play Music.
Please rate, review, like, and subscribe to us on any of the devices that you listen to. And yes, what should the question be to the listeners?
What are you doing to keep it fresh?
Yes, what do you do to keep it fresh? Side note, the 20th, because they had the year anniversary thing for every year.
For what? What are we talking about?
No, for like weddings, like the first year you get paper, second year you get the 20th year traditionally is China, but
the country. Okay.
Yeah, I will take that seriously. Take her to China.
Like, babe, I don't even like dumplings.
And the modern thing is platinum. This is platinum now.
It's platinum.
Yeah, platinum something.
Platinum band, platinum earrings.
Something.
Platinum record.
Platinum teeth.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. Grills. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you can email us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com. You can go to our website, www.bedlovebeyond.com. You can give us a call or text us at 201-862-8BED. That is 201-862-8233. You can hit us up on Facebook, www.facebook.com/bedlovebeyond. And you can follow us at bedlovebeyond on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. Thank you so much for being on the show again, Charles.
I love it. I love every time I get to come on. Thank you for having me. It's such a great time.
Yeah, no problem, man. That is the end of the show. I'm Martini.
Still Jen.
All right, see you guys later.
Peace.
Oh, wait, not over yet. Like I said at the beginning, just got some extra stuff that I want to talk about. And this might be a little bit, so I want you to, get your drink on, your wine on, or your juice on, and sit down for a little bit. I don't know why my voice got saucy right there, but anyway, so it was a great conversation. Thank you, Charles Mcfall and Jennifer, for including all your anecdotes and stories and all that good stuff. But I saw some pretty interesting articles that I wanted to bring to light instead of people just going into our website, www.bedlovebeyond.com, to read. Just some points. Obviously, I'm not going to read all the articles, but just some points that I wanted to list off. So there's two aspects about what we were talking about, and Charles Mcfall was talking about keeping fresh the relationship after kids, which I have an article for. But there's a lot of people who are just in regular relationships or in marriages that do not have kids. So this article is called "The Science of Happily Ever After: 3 Things That Keep Love Alive," and this is by time.com. So the stuff that I saw from this was extremely interesting, for me anyway. So hopefully it touches a nerve with you guys. So pretty much it says anyone in a relationship or who plans on being in one needs to know how to keep love alive over the long term. Happily ever after ain't easy. Aside from being the epitome of lazy writing, Happily Ever After is not simple. Ty Teresho explains that couples in their first year of marriages score 86% for marriage satisfaction. By the 7th year, it is under 50%. Yes, about 50% of couples get divorced. Another 10 to 15% separate but do not file paperwork, and 7 more percent are chronically unhappy. So the real stat is 2/3 of marriages do not live happily ever after. Why is marriage so hard over the long term? One of the main reasons is what science calls it habituation, which is a fancy word of saying we get bored. Early on, when a couple can finish each other's sentences, it's romantic, but over time, predictable is a huge negative. So, yeah, when I was reading about that, and also Charles earlier talked about that too, how when things get repetitive, that's not to be confused with consistency, but when things get repetitive, it just gets really, really boring. So they suggest, is there any way to bring those tingles back? Hold on. Sorry. Before that, it says, Robert Greene, author of The Art of Seduction, explains that surprise is key to romantic feelings. Seduction involves a degree of surprise, which is generally the first thing that disappears after you've been in a relationship, and why there's no more seducing that goes on. Everything is familiar, and you're no longer surprised by the other person. So, is there any way to bring those tingles back? Yes, here's how. What you can learn from arranged marriages. So, they say that love marriages start out happier, but that declines quickly. Arranged marriages start out less happy, but after 10 years, they're happier than love marriages and stay that way. So what is the secret behind the long-term success of arranged marriages? They have to work at it. They don't passively rely on magic and intense emotion. They have to spend a lot of time thinking about how to make it work. The process of discovery is ostensibly the fun of courtship too, except that in arranged marriages, the goal is to figure out how to be married, not whether to marry. Research shows expecting a fairy tale relationship is a prescription for disappointment. Elements of fairy tales such as Cinderella were present in 78% of people's belief about romantic love. Those people were more likely to have experienced disillusionment, devastation, and angst in their relationship, Those people were more likely to have experienced disillusionment, devastation, and angst in their relationships than were those who gave less credence to fairy tales. Feeling like it's all magic means it's out of your control, and that without that initial magic is hopeless. So there's that. I thought that was very interesting to look at arranged marriages, because some people are like, oh, it's so confined, it's so controlled. But at the same time, on the flip side of it, the guesswork is out. The guesswork is out of it, and all you need to concentrate on is loving each other. So I found that it was very interesting that arranged marriages are happier after like the 10-year mark. That was very, very interesting. Another aspect that they say is don't fix the bad, increase the good. And it says, look at your spouse as something you purchased as is. Research shows trying to change them doesn't work. These problems don't go away, yet many couples keep arguing about them year after year. Most marital arguments cannot be resolved. Couples spend year after year trying to change each other's minds, but it can't be done. This is because most of their disagreements are rooted in fundamental differences of lifestyle, personality, or values. By fighting over these differences, all they succeed in doing is wasting their time and harming their marriage. So, if you can't change them and they won't change you, how can you reduce the bad stuff? You can't, but you don't need to. The best relationships are more about increasing the good than reducing the bad. Divorce may have less to do with an increase in conflict and more to do with a decrease in positive feelings. Good stuff, good stuff. And the third one is forget romance, think excitement. Think a pleasant date night is all it takes to keep love alive. Researchers did a 10-week study comparing couples that engaged in pleasant activities versus exciting activities. Pleasant lost. Those who had undertaken the exciting date nights showed a significantly greater increase in marital satisfaction than the pleasant date night group. Why would doing anything exciting have such a big effect on a relationship? Because we're lousy about realizing where our feelings come from. Excitement from any source will be associated with the person you're with, even if they're not the cause of it. Oh, there you go. All right. So no more boring, lame date nights. Go do something exciting. Go dancing together or anything else you both participate as a couple. Keeping love alive can be tricky. You need to actively work at it, and it's more important to increase the good than to reduce the bad. Yeah. And also, the best way to do that is by increasing excitement. Pretend you're on your first date. So you go, yeah. Just keep pretending you're on your first date. I mean, that's the best thing that you can do. Just keep it alive, keep it fresh. Yeah. So another article is for after kids, and it says fall in love with your partner all over again. And this is from www.parents.com, and they interviewed about 4 couples to show what they have done to keep the relationship alive after kids. And one couple was Kate and Daniel, and they learned the power of touch. They've been married for 6 years, and they have 2 kids. And Kate says 4 or 5 times a week we make a point of snuggling on the couch after putting the kids to bed. We used to sit in separate chairs and read the paper. Then I read The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. It made me realize that Daniel feels love through touch, so we needed to sit closer to each other. And Daniel says it's true. Back rubs, massages, and cuddling make me feel appreciated. Right on, Daniel. Myself as well. Kate, on the other hand, responds more to affectionate and positive words. In the past, this created some tension between us because I didn't get the physical contact I need, and I tried to show Kate my love through touch instead of compliments, which are what she needs. Yep, so again, Jennifer and I, we always big up the 5 love languages. It's great to understand what your significant other reacts to. It really helps you instead of just going on what you see in movies or in society. She's like, well, I bought you flowers. I don't understand why you aren't happy. He was like, well, I hate flowers. Like, how am I supposed to know that? You're a girl. All girls love flowers. Very wrong. So it's great. I highly recommend everybody get The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And there's a lot of different ones too. There's a singles edition, married edition, men's edition. It's really good. All of them are really good. The second couple is Shayla and Alan Perry, and they connect through music. So Jen, this is for you. These people have been married 8 years, and they have 4 kids. All right. So Shayla says, after the kids are asleep, we grab some beers, light candles, and surf the music stations on TV. We'll dance and sing along to our favorites and reminisce about where we were and what we were doing when we first heard a song. It's a fun way to learn more about each other, and it also reminds us how much we share in common. And Alan says, sometimes they'll play a song that one of us doesn't like. Shayla can't stand the retro rock channel, but we'll keep it on as I try to explain why I like it. I love that she's willing to listen in order to understand me better. Shayla says, I find it amazing how much you can find out about a person and his taste from his taste in music. And that's true too. Yeah, sometimes we will get into an activity that we have no idea why our significant other likes it, so we'll just walk away from it, and that's not good. You need to understand, if this is going to be your partner for life, you need to know why that person likes the stuff. You don't need to like it, automatically or on the rip. Just understand, hey, why do you like this stuff? And hey, you never know, maybe you will like it. I remember this couple, The girl loved country music, but the guy did not. He was like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't need that in my life." But she started introducing him to musical acts and songs, and then a couple months later, he starts rocking to the music and started watching country related shows, and it's like that. So boom. So now they watch country related shows and listen to country music, and it's great. So there you go. I mean, not everything works that way, but it's nice to know that your partner is at least willing to meet you halfway or all the way into what you're into, and you can share something together. So I commend them. Way to go, Shayla and Alan Perry from Corning, New York. And then this last couple is Heather and Spencer Sokol. We go on alphabet themed dates. They've been married for 14 years and they have 3 kids. Heather says each month we plan a date that's based on a different letter of the alphabet. An idea I got from the book Alphabet Weekends, Love on the Road from A to Z by Elizabeth Noble. For the letter C, we spent an afternoon at the local children's museum by ourselves. This gave us the opportunity to explore the exhibits our kids aren't crazy about, and it made us feel young again. We even rode the carousel together. For D, we spent a day in downtown in Indianapolis. I know alphabet dating sounds a bit goofy, but it gives us an excuse and an incentive to be together. That's freaking awesome. That does not sound goofy. Yo, let me get a chick so we can freaking do this alphabet dating thing. That's pretty dope. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. I hope somebody does that. Write in if you're gonna do that. I want to see how well it goes. And this last article is the 10 things close couples do to keep the romance alive after kids, and this is www.thedatingdivas.com. Number 1, make date night a priority. You had to see this one coming. I mean, we are the dating divas. It's the whole reason why we started this blog. The truth is, dating each other is what made you fall in love in the first place. So it makes sense that you should keep dating to stay in love. Number 2 is spoil your spouse, not your kids. And I believe Charles was talking about this earlier. And yeah, your kids, I mean, you were here before your kids, so you need to really recognize that. And before you guys were mommy and daddy, you were a husband and wife. So you guys really need to concentrate on that. But this says one of the very best things you can do for your kids is to put your spouse first. Strong marriages make strong families. Not only does it provide your children with a sense of safety and security, but it shows them what real love should look like. Hear, hear. All right. Number 3, bring back the PDA. I bet when you first started dating and fell in love, you couldn't keep your hands off each other. Am I right? You were always cuddling up, holding hands, and sneaking in extra kisses. Well, how affectionate are you now? After kids come along, things can get a little trickier in this department. So, I mean, it's hard to snuggle up when you're holding a baby and the toddler's crawling all over you. Yeah, man. I mean, it's hard. No one's saying that it's easy. It's hard, but you really gotta bring that stuff back. Number 4, make time to transition from mom mode to wife mode. It's one of the best things we've done for our marriage is being consistent and firm about bedtime. Our kids know that after bedtime is our time. After 8 o'clock, I am no longer mom, I'm Becca. After dealing with diapers and crying all day, I need a break and time to transition from mom mode to wife mode. Number 5, get your flirt on, girlfriend. Yeah, you're his wife, but never stop being his girlfriend. Don't lose the playful fun part of your relationship, and that's where the romance is. Don't stop flirting, especially at home. Adapt to and learn the art of flirting in front of your children. Yep. Leave notes for him to find sexy, flirty text messages while he's at work, or give him a small gift, just because. Number 6, quit the competition. Don't play the who's doing more work or who has it harder game. The truth is, being a mom is hard. Being a dad is hard. But you have to remember that you're on the same team. If one of you loses, you both lose. So instead of complaining and comparing, work together to support, compliment, and encourage each other. Number 7, be his lover, not his mother. Even though you're a mom, you are not his mom. Never give in to the urge to nag or mother your spouse. Too often women complain that their husband acts like one of the kids. Well, if you want him to act like a man, then you need to treat him like one. Yep. Number 8, get on the same parenting page. Parenting is a tough gig, and chances are you and your spouse are probably going to have different parenting styles. It's important to be united as a team so the kids can pit you against each other. So the kids can't pit you against each other. That's very interesting too. Number 9, make love to stay in love. It's totally true. Making love is one of the best ways to stay in love. It's about a lot more than just sex. Intimacy is like the glue in a marriage. Besides being fun and creating strong marital connection and bond, it also has some pretty nice benefits too. Ready to hear them? Here we go. Regular sex has been scientifically proven, to help you weigh less, look younger, have less wrinkles, have less stress, gain more confidence, and have less headaches. And those are just my favorite benefits. I mean, come on. Why would you not want those? I'd be interested just for the beauty benefits alone. Yeah. Number 10, don't give up. Marriage is not a one-time commitment or act. It's a conscious decision. Marriage is about choosing each other again and again every day. It's about forgiving, learning, and growing. It's about falling in love with each other over and over again. It's the little things we choose to do each day. Pray for each other, serve each other. Love only diminishes when we stop giving it, so never stop. Marriage is a 365-day-a-year gig. Yep, and that's it, pretty much. I mean, of course, there's more articles, a lot more articles on www.bedlovebeyond.com. All right, so that was the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for staying here. I know it was a little bit longer than you wanted it to be, but I thought those articles were very important to touch upon. All right, so we will see you guys.